Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I am Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you're interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the family. Okay, so today I'm going to be testing out a bunch of new to me products, and these are not all going to be first impressions. Some of these I have been trying for like one or two times. Some of these I've never tried at all. So some of these will be true first impressions, and some of these I've tried a couple of times. But essentially, what I wanted to do was to come here and show you guys a bunch of new products that I've had in my collection that I haven't had a chance to play with on camera. You know, I do a lot of eyeshadow tutorials, I do a lot of eyeshadow reviews, but I love all makeup and I want to make sure that I'm showcasing more than just eyeshadow on my channel. And I also want to, you know, while I'm applying these products, really talk to you guys about how I got them at the price I got them. Because as I say in my intro, you know, I don't believe in paying full price for makeup. And I always want to share how I picked up these products because I get them at a discount, okay? And I get them at a pretty good discount. And I want to share, you know, just ways in which you can think about if these products are of interest to you, how you can buy them at a cheaper price. So if you want to see how I created this face, just keep on watching and we'll dive into some of these new products. And I'll come back at the end and give you guys sort of my thoughts on, you know, whether I like these products, whether I love these products, whether they're going to be holy grails, or whether or not they're just going to be meh in my collection. Alright, let's dive into this. Get ready with me. I'll try to leave timestamps down below, so if there's a specific product you're interested in, you can see it there. But yeah, let's just dive right in. I have my eyes primed, ready to go. I am using the colored Rain Primer. This is in the shade Wheat. I've really been enjoying that. I'm not a big eyeshadow primer person. I will typically just go in with concealer, so this is new. But so far I've been liking it. For my eyes, I'm going to use the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette. And I picked this up during the Memorial Day sale, and as I'm going through these products, I'll tell you guys, you know, where I picked it up, if I got it on sale or not. You know, I don't believe in paying full price for products. So I want to try to kind of like start reinfusing, you know, how to get some of these products brand new on sale for the cheap. So let's do that. So this is the Lunar Eclipse palette. I really appreciate how textured the palettes are. And this is the color story here. So pretty neutral with a row of blue. Okay, let me bring you guys in a little bit closer and we'll get started on the eyes. So I'm going in with my Morphe A11 brush, and I think I'm gonna start with the shade Sandstorm as a transition shade. A little bit of kick up in the pan, but honestly, that doesn't bother me too much until it starts to like cross-contaminate other pans. And I'm not seeing that. What I am seeing though is amazing pigmentation and real easy blendability. Does that make sense? It blends easily. Look at that. I like that. That is great. And I don't want to spend too much time on the eyes today, so this is not going to be the most intricate look. Next up, I want to deepen up the crease a little bit, so I'm going to go in with the shade Lagoon. It's this blue matte shade. And I'm going to put that kind of like right underneath where I put the first shade and just blend that into that one. I'm going in with this colored Rain small blending brush. Just plopping that down and blending it into the brown. It's a little patchy, but let's see if we can fix that. Yeah, the blue is a little patchy for my liking. Kind of wonder, I'm switching to a bigger blending brush actually. Yeah, I'm gonna use my second A11 brush and see if that helps. Yeah, I'm liking this so much better. Perfect example of sometimes the tools you use matter. So I'm just taking a little bit more of that blue and going back over the first eye to blend that in better. So I'm getting better pigmentation and a better blend. Now I'm going back in with the first brush and I want to make sure that I'm blending the tops of the brown and the blue together so that it's a little bit more seamless. Now I'll come back and do some more blending as I always do, but I want to start going into the shimmers. I think I'm going to do a nice halo eye with this look today. So going in with my Refa #1 brush, I'm going to go into the shimmer Deep Blue. Sorry, Deep Sea. It's a deep blue shimmer, but it's called a Deep Sea. Ooh, that is picking up nicely on this brush. And I'm just going to start by putting that into the inner and the outer half of the eye. Ooh, okay. Now, not only is this my first time using this palette, this is actually my first time trying the Lunar Beauty formula. And so far, I am quite impressed. Like, look at that. Now, like I said, I picked this up during the Memorial Day sale. This was 20% off. I found that Lunar Beauty does not have the best or the most frequent sales compared to other brands. So I have seen them do sales for, you know, Memorial Day. I don't think they did anything for July 4th. I think I saw 10% off for Laura Lee. Not Laura Lee. Maybe Laura Lee's birthday. One of them. So they have like random sales like that. But what I'm trying to say is that when it comes to their sales, I feel like 20, maybe 25% off is the highest that I have ever seen. I have not seen them go beyond that. Now, for me, I'm at a point where, you know, based on how things are going, I need 30% off to get excited. Like, that is what gets me real excited about a sale. Because 10, 15, 20% off nowadays is just kind of like, meh, okay, so what, you know? So, just something to consider if you were thinking about shopping the brand. You know, I try to keep up with what is their patterns for sales. That way I know if I should wait or if I should just go ahead and buy something. Now, what I do want to flag about Lunar Beauty though is that during the last 2 BoxyCharm drop shop events, their Nude Prism eyeshadow palette has been on sale for $19. Now, if you didn't know, you could be a past subscriber of BoxyCharm and still shop their drop shop. You just end up shopping it in like the last couple of days or so. So what they kind of try to do is give first preference to the people that are currently still subscribed, and then they open up the drop shop for past subscribers. So I am a past BoxyCharm subscriber, so I just waited till it was open to us, and then once it was, I picked up the Nude Prism palette for $19, which is a steal because I think it retails for like $39. So to get it at $19, and if the quality is anything like this one, I will be so very happy. So I like where the eyes are going right now. To finish this up, I'm gonna go into Gold Dust, and I'm gonna use that as the center of my halo eye. I'm just gonna go in with my finger. Okay. Does feel a little bit drier. And I'm just going to plop that into that little hole that I left here. And I'll go back in with a brush and make sure it's blended together. But I just want to lay down this shadow first. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like right now. I like, can't even lie. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish up the rest of this eye look, which basically means that I go back in with all of the shades, blend where I need to blend, make sure everything looks nice and, you know, cohesive and there aren't any sharp lines. And then I'm gonna come back and start on the rest of my face. Okay, I zoomed you guys out a little bit and I had to clean up a little bit of fallout on my face. But I just wanted to say one quick thing. You know, I did go in with this shade. It's called Desert Sky on top of that gold shade in the center. So I kind of mixed both of those together. And this is what the final eyes are looking like. I'm going to go ahead and prime my face. I'm using this Cover FX mattifying primer. Now this is old. I'm really trying to empty it. I've had this for way too long. So I'm trying to empty this as quickly as possible. Now this primer, I don't think they even sell it anymore. It does claim to be a mattifying primer and it has salicylic acid in there. So great for people that have acne prone skin. So that's kind of why I picked it up in the first place. I got this at TJ Maxx. I think I paid like $7.99 for it. And I haven't talked about TJ Maxx in a while, but it truly is a really great place if you are looking for just seeing if you can get some cheap makeup. Not everything, I wouldn't say buy everything at TJ Maxx, but there are certain things you can purchase there. Products like this primer and other primers that are sealed are definitely safe to purchase, and you can also look in the back and see what the expiry date is. So make sure you check them out. Don't sleep on TJ Maxx and Marshalls, y'all. Okay, now that my face is primed, I'm gonna go in with my foundation. I am gonna use this Bite Beauty foundation. This is their Change Maker foundation. Now, you guys already know, Bite Beauty is going out of business. I actually picked this up at the Sephora inside JCPenney for 75% off. This is gonna be my second time using this foundation, so not really like a first impressions. But I used it yesterday. I actually quite liked it. The shade, I don't know how I feel about the shade fully yet, but I really liked how it sat and how it wore throughout the day, so I'm going to use it again today. I believe now that they're going out of business, this is also 75% off at Sephora and on their website, so give it a try. Now, it does not have like any real top to it, which kind of sucks. So I'm just going to apply it straight to my face, and to apply it, I'm going to be using my Sonia G. What is this collection even called? Damn, I'll figure out what the collection name is, but it's this purple collection. It's really, really beautiful. Now, this is the base brush from that. I don't have a ton of Sonia G brushes. I don't have a huge Fude brush collection. I'm real cheap when it comes to my brushes. I love my little Morphe. I love my little Wet n Wild. So, yeah. So, I just, like I showed you guys, I just squeeze a little bit onto the face. This is supposed to be really good for like foundation, and I think the shape is weird. Like, honestly, I think the shape is a little weird, but let's see how this applies. Now, this is a thicker foundation. As you can see, where I applied it, it pretty much just stayed and kind of sat there. But it does blend out and feel really light on the face. So I think that even though it is thicker, you can really control how much product you want, how much you apply. I think it definitely gives an extra layer of control. So it doesn't have to be like heavy on the skin. Now the color, I don't know if it's showing up here. I feel like it's a little reddish orange for my taste. I did get another shade as well that is a little bit deeper, which honestly might be too deep for me now. They looked good in store, but you know, store lighting could be one thing, right? As for this brush though, it is blending it out really nice. There's no streakiness, so that's great. As it should be. This shit was expensive. Y'all know Sonia G ain't cheap. I am typically a sponge girl when it comes to foundation application, but I said let's give this a try. What I do like about this is the ability to go into the nose and get into this little crevice right here. Like, that is dope. Like, the shape of this for that, really cool. Okay, I love the way this blended out. Like, I really like the way my skin looks. Now, I was just checking on the box to see if this is a like full coverage matte foundation. So it doesn't say any of that, but it does say that this has a skin-like finish, and this was made in Italy. So cool. Yeah, but I don't think it's like meant to be matte or like dewy, just kind of like your skin. So I kind of appreciate that. I think I paid like $17 for this with the 75% off. So it is a really, really good price. Now, if you want to try it, I say go ahead and get it. Just beware, if you try it and you like it, they're going out of business. So I don't know how much you want to invest into a brand that is going out of business. If you're happy getting it, to just try it once and then never probably using it again, I think you'll be fine. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my LYS concealer. I know I have another new concealer somewhere. I just don't know where it is, and I'm not gonna search right now. So I'm taking DG3. This is the lightest shade that I have in this concealer, and I'm just gonna apply that right here at the very inner part of the eye. Then I'm gonna go in with DN3. This is definitely more of my true complexion. Now that I've gotten a little bit deeper, it does work really well as a under eye brightening powder too, but it is still pretty close to my skin, so I just like to use that in the outer part to blend things out and around the lighter shade so that it has a little bit more of a gradient. This is not a new to me product, but I really enjoy it. Okay, I'm just gonna take my Sephora number 47 brush, spray that a little. Typically I would blend this out with a sponge, but I don't have a sponge here. And then I'm just going to blend out this concealer. Now to set my under eyes, going in with another not new product. This is the Pat McGrath Blurring Under Eye Setting Powder. I've raved about this several times. I actually have a pretty sizable pan in there, so I'm very excited about that. Now what I'm gonna do instead of using a brush is I'm gonna take this little sponge or powder puff from Sephora, and I'm just gonna pat that into the under eye. Now I found that that definitely gives a little bit more of a blurring effect to the face, like you can see here compared to here. So I like to just dip that puff in there and just pat that powder in to set the concealer, and then to just kind of like blur the area. Now to set the rest of the face, I am going to use my Dior Backstage powder. This is almost done. I'm so close to emptying this. So very excited about it. So I'm just going to take a big fluffy brush, swirl that all in there, and then set the rest of my face. This is a really, really lightweight translucent powder. And I say translucent because it does come in multiple shades. Now I can use multiple shades, so love that for me. But it is really lightweight, so it doesn't really add a ton of color to a foundation. So I like it when I just like don't really want to add any more color or coverage, just to set things in. Okay, now that that is set, I do want to go ahead and finish up the under eyes, and then I'll come back and finish up the rest of my face. I'm looking a little bit like an egg, no definition, but it's okay, we will fix that. Okay, so I'm going to take this Morphe E36 brush. I'm going to start by going into the blue shade Lagoon and running that under the eye. So cleaning off that brush, I am then gonna go into this shade right here, and I'm gonna run that underneath that blue to give it a little bit of depth. And then going in with the darker brown that was next to that, also running that right underneath for some depth. And lastly, I'm gonna take another clean brush, gonna go into the Gold Dust shade, and I'm gonna plop that into the center, basically mimicking the halo eye that I have on top on the bottom as well. And then topping off that gold with the bronzy shade Desert Sky right next to it. So that you can see that little halo that I've created at the bottom. Cleaning up this area a little bit. And now that I've done this on this eye, I'm just going to replicate it on this eye. Dusting off any excess fallout, we are good with the eyes. Let me zoom you guys back out a little bit. There we go. So next up, bronzers. I want to go into my Trxie bronzer. So I actually picked this up in two shades. Groovy Gardenia, which is the deepest shade that they have, and also Free Love Fresia. So here we have those two next to each other. Now I have used both of these. They both work well. So I don't know. I definitely shouldn't have gotten both. Let's start there. But they both work for me, so I'm just going to use both today. One on one side, one on the next. So I'm going to start with the Groovy Gardenia, which is the deepest one. I also got the Trxie brush to go with it. You'll see it's dirty because I've been using this with it. Now, what's really great about the brush is that it fits perfectly into each of these individually. But what I like to do is swirl everything around and come up with like a mixture of both shades. So I'm just going to swirl my brush into it. It does have a lot of kick up. And then I just like to start here and run it along my face. So I do find this bronzer to be very natural, not overly pigmented, and more buildable than anything else. So even though it looks deep in the pan, when I applied it to the face, it was like, oh, where is it? but once you start building and blending, it shows up. So I like that it's not a harsh color. And it's not too red. Y'all know I hate a red bronzer on me. So that's Groovy Gardenia, the deepest of the two. And then I'm going to go into Free Love Frisia. Same brush, because it's the same product. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side so you guys can see the difference. Still swirling both of those together. So here we have the lighter Free Love Frisia. Here we have the deeper. So I definitely think you can see that this one is deeper than this one. But overall, I think either of them would have been fine. This is definitely just a little bit more natural. Now I am going to go back into the Groovy Gardenia and adding a little bit of it onto this side just to make sure things are even. I don't want to look lopsided. And voila, we are bronzed and ready to go. Almost a little too bronzed, so I'm just kind of like softening things up a little bit. Okay. Now for blush, I want to go into one of my bronzers because I rave about this. I love these. Really, really like these. They've been sold out at Ulta for a while, so I think I'm going to go with Kiss of Copper. It is coppery. It looks the same like the other one. And continuing with my Sonia G brush set, I'm going to use the cheek brush. This is a little small for what I like it to do. A little small. So there's that. Let me zoom y'all in a little bit because I want y'all to see the cheeky goodness. Now, this is a shimmer blush, so if that does intimidate you, I do want to say don't worry about it. I am not a huge fan of shimmer blushes, but I love the way this looks. Good pickup on the brush. Like, it adds a glow without looking real shimmery. Do you see that? This brush is shedding a little bit. And I did wash the Sonia G brushes before using them, so I did do that. I don't love this brush for this though. So I'm not in love with that brush for this. What I like to do is go in with a brush that's shaped kind of like this. This is my Smashbox angled blush brush. So I'm just gonna go over it with this. So it's taking a little bit more of that product on there. And you see how this covers a real nice surface area? That's what I like. I think this applies it so much better. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to use that cheek blush from Sonia G because it's small. I don't know why. Okay, and then lastly for highlight, I'm gonna go into this MAC Step Up Bright Extra Dimension Skin Finish palette. It's in the shade Medium Deep. This was from Holiday 2020, I believe, or 2021. But it has this like real kind of, what is it, clowny effect? I don't know what it's called. But it's a highlighter palette. You have 3 shades in here. A more gold highlighter, coppery highlighter, and then a pinky highlighter, which I think goes well, like the gold and copper goes really well with the eyes. I'm gonna use this Trxie Cosmetics brush. Now, the Trxie bronzer does have a highlighter in there. I just don't want to use it. So I'm gonna go in with the highlighter in this trio palette. I want to go in with the middle one, which is definitely more of a true yellow gold highlighter. So just picking up a little bit of that on this brush. Swirly, swirly, swirl. And then using the same highlighter, I'm just going to take this brush, dip it into that highlighter, and then I'm going to use that to highlight my brow bone. Now the last thing before I go ahead and add mascara and finish up this look is that I'm going to go into this shade right here. It's called Flare. It's like a real champagne shade, and I'm going to take up a little bit of that and put that into my inner corner for an inner corner highlight. And then I'll add some mascara and finish up this look. Okay, looking good. Let me add some mascara, some setting spray, and I'll be right back to give you guys my thoughts on all of these new products that I tried. Okay, I'm back and this is the final face. I went ahead and put on my sun and moon earrings because I'm wearing the Lunar Eclipse palette. So, and these are just so cute. These are from TJ Maxx, y'all. Y'all know I love my earrings. Anyways, let me just quickly wrap things up by giving you guys a little bit of a rundown of all the products that I use to create this face and how I feel about them. Like I said, some of these are first impressions. Some of these I've been using for a while. Not a while. Some of these I have been using, so they're less of a first impressions, more of a review. So starting with the eyes, the Lunar Beauty Eternal Eclipse palette. Now this again was my first time trying this brand, and honestly I really enjoyed how this performed. Now I really liked the color story to begin with, so I was really happy to pick this up. But the way in which this performed, okay. The mattes were super blendable, like they had a lot of depth to them, which I appreciated, and they blended quickly, so it didn't take a really long time to lay them down. And the shimmers I think work really well. Are they the most standout shimmers? No, now that they've kind of settled in, they have a little bit of satin to them with some sparkle in there, but I actually really like how both of these formulas performed. So I am really excited to see what else this brand has to put out. What is this? Just out of curiosity, I'm looking here, and it does say that this was actually made in the US with domestic and imported ingredients. So, US made product. Really impressed with the eyeshadow palette. I do have two more palettes from Lunar Beauty, and I'm really looking forward to trying those. They're definitely more on the pinky side. Like I said, I picked up the Lunar... Why do I keep calling it Lunar Nude? The Nude Prism palette from BoxyCharm for like $19, so I'm looking forward to that. Next up, the foundation from Bite Beauty. I like how this sits on the face. I think it's not super heavy. I think it gives good medium coverage that looks like it could be built. It is a thicker formula, as you saw when I applied it to my face. It just kind of sat there, but it blends out really nice, and I don't think that it feels heavy or it looks heavy on the face. I think it gives a really nice natural finish, so it would work for both more dry or oily skin tone. Skin types. If you have an oily skin type, I definitely say go in with a more mattifying primer than a luminous primer, and if you have a more dry skin type, you know, just prime accordingly. But in terms of the way in which this applies, I think it works really well. I do think that the shade is a little orangey red. But it works. It works. You know, you've seen the final face. I think it works really well, and the color match is actually quite nice. So, you know, Bite Beauty is going out of business. I don't know if you can get this, but if you were curious in checking it out, it should be on sale for like 70-75% off. So it's definitely worth getting. Really great formula. Now, with the foundation, I used my Sonia G brush to apply it. This is from, I don't know what the set is called, but it's from that really expensive set with the really pretty purple handle. I like the way in which the foundation brush apply things. This I definitely like. Now the cheek brush from this set, I do think that it is a little bit small for the face in the way in which I like to use like blush brushes. So I have to figure out how to use this because I feel like it's a weird size. It's like too big for some things, but then too small for like a blush brush. So I have to figure that out. But overall, I do like the quality of these brushes. Superb, no issues whatsoever. Next, let's talk about the Trxie bronzer and brush combination. Now, the bronzer I really do like. I picked up 2 shades, like I mentioned. I don't think I needed both. I think I should have stuck with just the deeper one. But I do have both now, so I'm not mad at it. I think that this is nice. It applies well. It's blendable. It gives good pigment. It's buildable. It hasn't blown me out to the water though. I think this is like my 3rd or 4th time using it, and while I do think it's nice, I don't think it replaces like my Dior or my Marc Jacobs, heck, even my Morphe and my Makeup Revolution. So I think it's a nice solid bronzer if you were in the market for trying a new bronzer. But when it comes to how it ranks in my favorites, I don't even know if this makes top 5, to be honest. It's not bad by any means, but I just have bronzers that I like better than this one. As for the brush, I think it's a really nice brush, really nice size, very, very soft. It really does fit into the crevices of the face really well. It's a short handle because it was designed to be a travel brush. So I think this is great for travel. It has really good volume, so it's not too small, and it just fits in really, really nicely. So really happy with that. The bronzer from Bare Minerals. I just love this. This was in my mid-year 2022 favorites. I think it's such a nice glowy blush that looks really natural. Gives a nice sort of radiance to the skin without looking shiny or oily. So if you have oily skin and you're worried about that, you're good. No need to worry about it. It is such a good blush. They call it a bronzer because it's supposed to do dual function. It ain't no bronzer. Don't even get caught up with that. And then lastly, this MAC Trio highlighter. Now, I do think that this is really beautiful. MAC has to have one of my favorite highlighting formulas, just period. I think that whatever MAC puts in their highlighters are just phenomenal, and this is no exception. Like, this is really perfect for deeper skin tones as well. This trio does come in a light version, so if you have lighter complexion, you can get the light version. I picked this up at the CCO for maybe $10. Like, you can get it real cheap, and you do get 3 highlighters, so I think the value there is absolutely phenomenal. And I think that is it. So those are all of the new products that I tried or have been trying. I want to do this video again because I do have like a basket of products that I've just been like hoarding and not trying, and I want to make sure that I'm showing you guys more than just eyeshadow. I love all makeup. I don't discriminate. I do discriminate in terms of loving eyeshadow and bronzer a little bit more, but I love all makeup, and I've been testing a couple of things, and I want to make sure that I can show you guys as much as possible on camera so you can see how it applies on my complexion, on my skin type, all of that jazz. All right. And that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already done so and you want to see more content. Share with a friend if you think they'll like the content. As always, I love you guys. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!